What's up? I am headed home. It is 25 after midnight from the NSCA conference in Nashville. Weather was getting pretty nasty, so decided to head back. So you know, I can resume normal training and everything like that tomorrow and so on. But it's such a cool event. I was down there with Sornex, got to hang out with those guys and got to meet some really awesome people and share conversations with people that, I mean, in 5 minutes I'm talking to some guys from Florida State, and then I turn around and I'm talking to some guys from the New York Yankees, and then I turn around again and I'm talking to some guys from the Navy SEALs, you know, all in one place, all with a love of strength and enthusiasm about strength. But the cool thing about this is I wasn't paid to go there. I spent my own dime getting down there, getting back, and I think what a lot of people assume is, you know, for a person like myself, is that I'm being paid or I'm being engaged in some way by going, and the only thing that I'm getting out of it is knowledge. That's my payment for going. And I would like to stress that point to a lot of younger lifters. So many of you lifters, you know, we do these seminars all over, and one of my favorite things to see, in kind of a negative way of being a favorite thing, is, you know, they'll be like, well, you know, I would come to your seminar, but you're an hour and a half away. Well, I just came 10 hours to give this seminar, and you're not willing to drive an hour or an hour and a half. And that's fine. If you don't want to come see me, no problem. But people need to be out there understanding that I never go anywhere and have this total revelation of thought. You know, what happens to me is I'll go someplace and I'll have little tidbits. I'll have little nuggets of information that maybe don't even make enough sense today, but down the road I'll have a situation where I'm with a client or an athlete or myself, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, that conversation comes back, and now that piece of information that was carried on in a 20-minute conversation, that little precise moment that we got off track and talked about something totally out of the blue, that was the thing I took away, and here it is now. It needs to be applied. So you never know where you're going to get this information. You never know what's going to be important. You never know what's going to be kind of repetitive. But the point is, go somewhere, read articles, watch videos, go to seminars, travel all over to train with people that are better than you. I still to this day go anywhere and everywhere I can to train with people who are stronger than me, who are smarter than me, who are better than me, and that's the only way to continue to climb. You know, if you get to a point where you think you know everything, you don't, okay? I don't want to get too far off on this tangent. I don't want this to sound negative, but there's been this really big shift in like hyper scientific knowledge about body mechanics, diet, training, on and on and on. And that's awesome, like fantastic. I like to read those scientific articles. However, I like to read those scientific articles as an analysis of what's being done, not predictive, okay? And what I'm saying is, I like to go through a workout, like for myself, if you monitored all my workouts and then you took data and examined it and told me for your next cycle maybe you should try this because this is what the information yielded, you know, this is what you should do next time. What's happening is people are getting a lot of really good information about the average person, you know, like the biomechanics for the deadlift for 165 pound 5'7" male. Well, that doesn't have any relevance to me at 340 pounds and 6'1". You know what I mean? Like, those biomechanics are obviously going to be different, and that's what you should understand, is that science is when water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. That's science. It's repetitive. It's the same everywhere all the time. The greatest variable in the world, or one of the greatest variables in the world, is the human body. So the way we move is always different. It's always changing. And people are acquiring knowledge, and that's great. But when you get to the point where you will critique or deny what someone is doing because it doesn't fit in with what you believe, but if it works, you better pay fucking attention. It was like, I got into a conversation with a guy, and I admit, like, if I were to watch my deadlift from the outside looking in, there are things that I would change tremendously about it. But when I deadlift the way that I do, it feels natural, it feels good, and I've pulled over 800 pounds numerous times. Now, is it preventing me from pulling 900 pounds, not having better form? I can't say that, but I'm trying to work on it. But here's what the thing I want to tell all these people that have this unlimited knowledge. If you know so much, why aren't you the strongest guy? You know, there are thinkers and there are doers, and there are people who have a good balance of both. So don't ever let yourself be a person who only gets under the bar and disregards all the information, because that's going to slow your progress. And don't be hindered by the information. Some of the smartest people that I see online always, you know, just giving this massive amount of science overflow and scientific information, they're not always the strongest. You know, they're kind of paralyzed by over-analysis, and I see that a lot. And sometimes you have to just go. You just have to fucking go. So that was a point that we talked about several times today with different people, because a lot of these coaches are so damn smart. They think that they have to coach everybody exactly the same and fit everybody into this one size fits all mechanism of perfect form and perfect this and perfect that. It just doesn't work that way in the real world. I mean, perfect form is perfect form for each individual, and as a coach, it's your job to identify what that is and help that lifter realize that. So, you know, that's kind of a two-bit rant. I'm not knocking science and what it is, but when science becomes prejudicial and stops acknowledging, you know, like the rounded back versus straight back on the deadlift argument. Well, science will tell you, or a lot of the biomechanics books will tell you, that a straight back is the proper way to deadlift. KK pulled 939 at 275 without a belt. You can't fucking argue with the results. So if he straightened his back out, would he pull 940? Hell, I don't know, but he pulled 939. Like, just give him props. So that's kind of where my head's at today. The other thing that's really, really cool, and I'm going to do something probably a little premature. So everything that I've been going on and on and on with about being excited and this and that. So I had a lot of people contact me, you know, since I've started making these videos, and overwhelmingly they're like, love what you have to say, love your ideas, love your methods, love your heart, love the willing that you keep fighting back. And all of that is what's inside of here and what's inside of here. You know, like, I can't contain it and describe it in any other way than that fight to lead mentality. I talked about that a while back. So somebody was like, we want to support you, but we don't train the cube method. That's okay. You don't have to train the cube method, you know. And they're like, well, we'd buy a shirt, but we'd feel weird because our coach does something else, blah, blah, blah. I get it. So we were talking about the fight to lead deal, and we came up with a logo, and we came up with some ideas for some shirts and some hats and things like that. And I'm really, really happy about it. It's not like, is it going to sell $1 million? No, it's not. I don't want it to. I want this line of clothing to, one, it's not going to be something ridiculous. It's not going to be something that is just limited to a gym shirt that you would only wear to the gym. It's going to be something that I could imagine wearing, you know, if you went out, if you went to the gym, if you just anywhere kind of clothing. And but nicer materials, cool graphics, things like that. But the thing about it is I want people that connect and really understand to have it. You know, I don't want everybody to want it. I don't want everyone to have it. So I want people that get me to get this brand, the Fight to Lead brand, because that's how I live my life. I don't want to be a guy with a heartbeat and, you know, that's it. Like, that's just because you're alive doesn't mean you're living. I want to leave something. I want to be something bigger. I want to be something greater than what I am, not only today, but every day. And when I think about having a son, and when I think about all the people in my life that support me and love me and care for me, friends and family, like, I want to take on the role of leader. I want them to point to me and say, man, that's how I want to be. That's how I want to live. That's the way I want to walk through life, like that guy. And it's not an arrogance. It's actually a humbleness to know that everybody fits in their own role, but I'm going to lead the people that follow. You know what I mean? And I follow others. You know, even though I'm a leader, or I hope to be a leader to those that love me and care for me and in my circle, there are definitely people in different walks of life that I follow. So it's not about this, you know, I'm better than you mentality. It's being the best that you can be to those that matter. So that Fight to Lead mentality, doing the best you can, making the most of what you got, and always pursuing being the best of what you are yourself. So I'm gonna have that logo. I'm gonna post that up probably now, and then here in the next couple of weeks we'll start rolling out some t-shirts, just finalizing some designs. I love hats, so we're gonna have some pretty cool hats. But yeah, it's just gonna be something small. It's gonna be something cool, and I want people that get it to get it. So thank you guys for watching. Gonna be training tomorrow. Got a lot of really good training stuff coming up. About 8 weeks out right now. My body is making some serious changes. I promised myself that I wouldn't show until the end, so I'm taking photos as I go, so at the end I can kind of, you know, put a chronological order, the gains or the gains or the changes that I've made. But also at 8 weeks out, the training really ramps up, pounds start climbing, and things start going good. So I'm there. I appreciate your guys' support. Like, subscribe, dislike, comment, ask questions. I'm really trying to engage with you guys as much as I possibly can. So do it down below, and tell somebody if you like the video, share it, whatever you do. Come back tomorrow. See you then.